Hello, everybody. I missed you guys. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you're not playing For Honor, to be completely honest with you. It's a terrible game, and nobody should play it. Anyway, I digress. I'm going to be giving CK3 a try. See how it does on the channel. Now, this is something I've been kind of wanting to try for a while, and this is on console, so you're going to see a lot of radio menus. You can see on either side of the screen there's like a L2, R2 thing, right? If I hold it, this monster comes up. Don't pay attention to that now. You don't need to understand it. I understand it. That's all that matters. And eventually, by watching this, you'll understand it. I decided to start out as like, it's technically in the beginnings of modern day Russia. Right? But right now it's this place called Holmgorder. This is the map. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. I ain't gonna lie. Now, we're starting in 867? 867? Yeah, that's what it says. Bottom right. 1st of January, 867. So this is one of the earlier starts you can do. And again, playing as Russia. So this is what we start out with, this little area here, right? And there's like different ways you can view the map, right? So I'm on realms right now. Now if we hold this, right? Boom, realms. And then we get duchies, right? So this is technically my area. You can see the little like blue line that comes all the way and like delineates this here, but it also delineates the extent of everything that I technically am the ruler of, right? However, these little areas, Vepsia, Luki, Luki, I don't know. Let's just call it Lucky, because it's a lucky area. It's lucky, right? You can see that there's like the actual city that's like the seat of power, right? I don't really know if settling or having the main city that is traditionally the city of the area is good. And by good, I mean like helps with money, increasing, warband size, levy size, does all sorts of crap, right? There's so many different things in this game. And if anybody would like a tutorial, I would be more than happy to go through it. The tutorial in this game is very heavy. And the first time I tried to play this game, I went through the tutorial and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I feel like somebody needs to sit you down and be like, hey, the tutorial sucks. It's trying to be as good as it can be, but I'm gonna sit you through it. So I'm gonna try to explain things as I go along because I really like sim games. I like Civ 6. I've been playing some Anno 1800 on console. Let me know if you guys want to see any of that. It's a fun game. But anyway, this is another one of those sim games that I really like. God, and there's like so many like little under things that you can do, right? So like you can look at terrain, right? And if you just like hover over for a second, it'll tell you what the terrain is, taiga. Now, it may not seem that important, but depending on your unit spread and what you have, they get bonuses in different types of terrain. Like you can see like right above where that drop-down menu came down, like it says Hux Scrolls, right? Go all the way down to the bottom where it says press X to select, and you'll see the terrain effects, right? Now, I already know what those are. It's taiga and forest. But it will tell you if you just like go in here and go to create. It will actually tell you. God, where is it? Is it in this menu? Oh yeah, I have to hold this down. So this is like the tooltip, yeah. This is something you're going to be doing a lot when you first start doing the game. I haven't done it in a while, so I actually kind of forgot that. If you hold down L3, you go into this tooltip mode, and see here, in Forest, it gets this bonus right here. Plus 8 damage. And then in Taiga, plus 8 damage. So, like, depending on the terrain that you start with, you're going to be making, like, 1 or 2 kinds of units. So for me, like, look at all the taiga that's in this starting area that I'm going to be fighting in. Like, I'm going to be making nothing but units that are good in forests and taiga, right? And I'm going to be trying to avoid fighting in areas like hills and plains. And I think this is wetlands. Yes. So, depending on what kind of unit you make, it'll be doing better in those different types of terrains, right? So I'm going to be making a lot of Huskarls, Light Footmen, and Bowmen, because those guys are the ones that get the bonuses in Forest and Taiga. And Bowman and Light Footmen, I think, get bonuses in Hills as well, if I remember correctly. What is that? I don't know what that is. I think that's Jungle, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. It is Jungle. But yeah, see, these guys get different bonuses in those realms. And Bowman, I think they get, what is it, Toughness, I think? Yeah, Toughness and Screen. So, okay, so Toughness is damage reduction, and Screen is damage losses when you lose a battle. So, like, yeah, so you can look at this. It's great. So this game, like, if you actually use the tooltips, this game will tell you everything. If you know how to use the tooltips thing, which is just holding down L3. You got to go through and you got to read everything, right? Yeah, soldier toughness. See? Before they become a casualty, right? All right, so that's just your introduction to tooltips and armies, okay? Super important that depending on where you start, you look at your terrain to see which kind of units you should be making. Like this, like Spain, you want to be making... Okay, well, this is kind of a exception. Oh, this is a perfect segue. So depending on your starting area and your culture... Ooh, whoops, that's Faith. So depending on your culture, you get different kinds of innovations, right? So see, you're right now, top left, tribal, right? 476 to wherever that ends. And then early medieval, and then high medieval, and then late medieval. Technically, these games have gone on for a very long time. But, see, like, here's a perfect example. Elephantry. See, there's, like, requirements for you researching certain types of cultures. Now, if you are a culture, and I just know this from experience, if you're a culture that is Galician or Basque or Visigothic, I think in this case, you will get access to caballeros, which are a special light horseman unit that you can recruit as a army regiment, men-at-arms regiment, inside of Spain. And they get extra damage in hills and in plains. Now, usually horsemen only get bonus damage in plains, and they suck in forests and wetlands, which is like, you know, looking at Spain again, look at the terrain. It's hills and plains, pretty much all over, right? Red is hills, this is plains, this is forest, and this is farmland. And farmland doesn't get any bonuses. It's basically just like plains. Like you just treat it as like a non-modifying combat area. And then gray is mountains. So we'll go back over here to our area. Yes, I mean, look at the terrain. It's all taiga and forest and a little bit of hills and some plains. Oh yeah, and then you go over into like horse land is what I like to call it. Because, you know, this is all like the horse lords area of the map, if you've ever really paid attention to history, right? It's all just steppes, wide open fields, and there's just tons of horses. So like if you were playing down here next to the Black Sea or the Caspian Sea, you would just be making like only light horsemen and like heavy horsemen, right? And maybe you'd mix in, you know, something that counters pikemen, which is, you know, pikemen, I mean, if you think about it, big sticks, spears, horse, like, come on. So you make pikemen, right? So it's like, okay, I know my weakness is pikemen, so then I'm going to be making bowmen. What is it? I think it's light footmen. Oh no, it's armored footmen. I'm going to be making armored footmen because they counter spearmen. So it's literally just going to be like, I'm just going to be making light horsemen and armored footmen, right? Or anything that counters, like something that counters my horse. Like there's always this like rock, paper, scissors counter system that you need to be thinking about, as well as terrain. So that's your little like tutorial on military and like taking combat engagements, which is important in this game, but it's not the end all be all, because there are different ways you can expand and different ways you can conquer territory. Like there was one playthrough I did where I was doing, and this is going to blow your mind for just a second. There's this whole like under system of characters, right? Wow, this guy's got really good martial. I just realized that. at 23. If you're hitting like above 23 on any of your stats, doing really good. If you're hitting 30 or 40, god tier. Like you're a god character. But I went through a diplomacy game one time, and I used this ability right here, offer vassalization acceptance, and I was literally just being like, "Hey man, you want to be my underling?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure." And I literally gained like I gained so much land. I think I gained land. Let me change the filter. Yeah, I gained land all the way down to this mountain range here, into Halish. I was just like, "Hey man, you want to be a vassal? Hey man, you want to be a vassal? Hey man, you want to be a vassal? Hey man, you want to be a vassal?" Boom, boom, and they're like literally all of these guys all the way down to here. They were just like, "Yeah man, sounds good." And that to loop back into culture, all of these. Ooh, whoops. Oh yeah, I need to do this filter. All of this region ethnically is Russian. And so if you are of the same religion or of the same culture, and alternatively, you could also be the same religion and the same culture, which gives you a double bonus, more people will be willing to be your little underling and essentially give you money and give you all the resources that you see in the top left, besides the knot and the tree. So the knot is faith, and that differs depending on what faith you are. And the tree is renown, and that can only be gained by you having a lot of dynasty members, which is essentially like your family, which is the little like heraldry banner next to my guy's face right there on the left. So the more family members you have, and the more family members you have in really high up positions, the more renown, which is that tree, you will get. And that's really important. And that is the slowest earned resource in the game. So if you ever have a decision where it's like, hey, you could do these things, or you could earn renown from this decision, take the renown every single time. Because this, we go to Dynasty, that allows you to get these resources throughout the game. Which is just like, once you get to the end of a tree, it's crazy. Like this is, where's the really good one that I think is really good? Hold on. Crap, where was it? Yeah, so literally you just straight up, like, we live longer, right? Straight up 5+ years life expectancy. God, where was it? Which one was it? Oh, yeah, this one. This is crazy. So as you get older, your skills increase with age. This is the most disgusting thing I've found in the game, in my opinion. Like, because every character in the game usually, like, slowly gets better with certain skills as they get older, but you always get weaker. Like, you know, like an 80-year-old man isn't going to beat a 20-year-old man in a fight. Like, this is not going to happen. I don't care who you are. But this essentially says, no matter how old you get, you'll still be able to fight people, and your skills overall are going to get better, which is just disgustingly powerful to me. And you'll realize that once you play this game. And there's like, you know, some other things that are just kind of crap in this tree. Like, I don't really think that one, this close bonds one, is very good, to be honest with you. This one's pretty good. Health is really important in this game, and having more dynasty members, obviously. So this tree really helps you get a lot of renown, in my opinion. This is really strong. Dynasty members get better education traits. That's also really good. And in the beginning of the game, this is really good. Fertility, right? So it's just like having lots of kids. Like, in the beginning of the game, you're not going to have a lot of land relative to the map, obviously. I mean, let's go back to this. Like, look how border gore this is. It's just, there's so much crap going on in this area of the map. And the same goes for down here. Like, this is also ridiculous. There's so much crap going on over here in East Asia. It's just crazy. Same thing with Africa. Like, there's so much crap going on down here. But the point I'm trying to make is, in the really early game scenarios, you are not going to be able to say, this is my only heir, they get all the territory I've conquered. It's going to split between every single kid you've had. And so it's, in my opinion, it's not really worth it in the beginning of the game to not have a bunch of kids and try to get like one ruler in. And now, to be fair, you can literally kill off every single person that's going to be an heir besides one person. But then you lose all the potential for gaining renown in the late game because you've killed off everybody. And renown is the most important resource in the game, in my opinion. You want to get a lot of that. And that's why it's generating at its lowest, at the lowest of all of them. All those resources up there. Now, just to like explain those resources to you, gold, top left, prestige, just there. Now, gold, you use gold for building shit and like paying people off and buying things, right? Easy explanation there. Now, renown or prestige, you use that in a lot of different situations, but most importantly, you use it in declaring wars. Like if I were to go over to this guy, this is always the first person I conquer because he's the easiest, right? If I go over here and go to declare war, and I choose, because he's only at county level, right? Like you can see all these, it's all this junk. You don't really need to pay attention to that for now. That's when you start getting into like late game stuff, and if you're not tribal, because technically I'm in a tribal government and I can just attack anybody for whatever reason, as long as I have the renown for it. So I go to Conquer County, see, boom, right in the middle. Whoops, let me turn that off. So right in the middle here, between that, like, you know, the verses, like the swords being crossed, it's going to cost me 75 prestige. Now, as we move in, let's see, what's a big target I can do? Yeah, this is the nearest empire. So if I were to go in here and declare war on this guy and go to invade kingdom, 2,000 renown, or prestige, excuse me. That is a metric butt ton of that resource. It's a lot. And you better be ready to kill. How strong is this guy? Yeah, he's way stronger than I am right now. Oh no, we're about the same. Huh, interesting. I didn't realize we started out at the same strength. That's kind of wild. But these guys, just because of the size of their empire, they will get a lot of money and a lot of renown and a lot of levies and a lot of prestige really, really quickly, really, really early. And I've got to get through all of this crap in between us before I start going over there. And it is difficult to get through all these guys really quickly because there's a lot of them, and time moves by. And you can control time. You can see down in the bottom right, I can make it. That's 0.5, that's 0.75, that's 1, 1.25, 1, and then 1.5. I know it will tell you, but the game is paused right now because I want to try to explain all this junk to you guys. So let's go to, yeah, we'll go to intrigue. So there's a lot of different things you can do in this game. Now, intrigue is something that is particularly unique to certain characters. My guy, not great at intrigue. That's where the knife is with the letter. Intrigue is at 7. He sucks. He's not going to be doing well murdering anybody. He's not going to be doing well romancing or really swaying people. Rurik here, my guy Rurik, he's just set up to kill people straight up in battle. 23 martial, 13 prowess, and he's a winter soldier, which is really good, and he's quick. Damn, this is a good roll. Oh, so I should explain that. Every time you start a new game, you could be starting as the same character in the same spot at the same time. You will always get different rolls on their traits. And that in turn affects how they operate as an individual. Now again, my guy, terrible at intrigue. But he, like I said, gonna be killing people, lots of people, straight up in battle. He's brave, he's ambitious, he's just, and he's gregarious. Now ambitious is a great trait to have right in the beginning. But you can see there, if you just look at this trait here, ambitious, gives me +1 in everything. Every single possible attribute I could have on this character, +1 across the board, which is great. Now, some things, and there's no negatives on the attributes, right? That's what you need to understand. There's no negatives. It's all upside in most cases. But stress gain is the biggest downside. Opinion of liege and opinion of vicious characters, we don't really care about that. That's situational. And we can usually remedy that in certain scenarios. But just, you can see it's +2 to stewardship, -3 to intrigue, right? That's why our character is terrible at intrigue. He has that personality trait. But it makes him really great at stewardship. and he also gets a +1 from learning, which is decent. And once you start playing the game, you'll start to recognize what attributes and personality traits and just, commander traits, physical traits, education traits will allow you to, it will pigeonhole you into playing a character a certain way. Because if I try to go around murdering, like murder scheming people, like here, let me just show you this real quick. If I, like, this is just gonna be terrible. If I try to murder this guy, oh wow, I can actually murder him really easily. What the fuck? Oh, it's because my spy master's a level 20. That's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, this isn't making any sense. So my spy master is at intrigue 20, which is how you can kind of remedy your deficiencies in your main character that you're playing as. But my chancellor is absolutely dog shit. And so is this guy. That doesn't really matter as much. It matters way more in the late game, especially if you're like a Christian or a Catholic or a Muslim. It's way more important. But seeing as we are of the Norse religion right now, it doesn't matter that much. Now, I will say that there are negative things that can happen because your counselors are just trash. So here's a great example. Let's click on this guy. And let's just hover over domestic affairs for a second. So, you can see at the bottom of that drop-down list, possible side effects, lowered vassal opinion. So, if I set my chieftain... Oh, it's got an umlaut over it. Kiru? Yeah, Kiru. To this task, there is a possible side effect that is negative, which is denoted by that red lettering there. So if we go into the drop-down list with the tooltip, it will tell you exactly what this does, right? You can just read that in your own time. Just pause the video if you want to read it. I'm not going to spend too long on that. But depending on how good your counselors are or how bad they are, they can have negative side effects attributed to them, just being, terrible at their job. But this guy, this guy is a legend. Already. I mean, how old is he too? Oh, he's 35. Awesome. Yeah, I'm 37. Me and this guy, we're gonna have a great time. But if I click on him and I do, yeah, so he is so good at his job that he will just passively do his third job if I set him to support schemes. Right? Possible side effects, secret discovered, which is literally this. And if I look for a secret, he has a 95% chance of finding secrets at our home court, which is wild. Absolutely wild. Let's see what disrupt scheme says. Yeah. Like, it's just, you can see all, yeah, it's just crazy. So he's getting bonuses because his intrigue skill is so high. Now, I'd say, like, the lowest you would ever want to go on any of your counselors is 10. And even then, you're going to get some bad things happening. 10 is the lowest I would go. Like, I'm probably, yeah, this gets crap too. But again, you'll start to figure out that, like, let's see, if I replace this guy. So he's a vassal. That's denoted by the fist in the top right corner. And he's powerful. So if I go to replace him with... God, you are all terrible. Yeah, you're a crap. Jesus. So if I were to replace this current guy with... Eriker? I don't know. But if I were to do that, right? The person who's on there right now, Chief Kiru, he's going to lose opinion of me. Now, there's all sorts of things in the opinion system that can happen. And here, let me just go to this real quick. So these people are all positive. Oh yeah, that's my son, so he's plus 100. But depending on like how high of an opinion someone has of you, they will either support the things you're trying to do with them, they'll allow you to do certain things to them, or they'll say, no, fuck you, I don't like you, yada, yada, yada. And if your opinion level with your spy master is super negative, like let's just say negative 50, for example. This guy, especially him, because he's plus 20 on his intrigue, he will probably try to kill you. Just because of how the intrigue system works and the AI and how good this guy is at his intrigue. So you always want to keep your spy master in the positive opinion lane. And I'm actually right away going to select him and sway him because he's only, 95% chance. That's good. I'm going to sway him immediately because I would like to stay alive. Because people, the AI can do everything you can do in this game. And in some cases, they're better at it than you because of their attribute spread. Like this guy, if he wanted to kill me, he would kill me. Easily. There is no way in fucking hell that this guy would not kill me. It would be so difficult for me to protect myself from this guy trying to kill. Oh my god, and he's got the +4 on the learning. Oh my god, yeah, this is nasty. And so let me just... Okay, he went into that tree. But literally, as you get better... Oh, here, I can make a good comparison to myself here, because I have the +4 on the Marshal. So you see here, monthly Marshal lifestyle experience, right? I get +40%. He'll get, Chieftain Ingvar will get +40% on his intrigue learning rate. So he's going to learn all this tree of lifestyle incredibly fast. Incredibly fast. He'll probably, I mean, he's already here at like, what was he, 35 years old? He'll get to Torturer, which gives him, tooltip. Again, tooltip, guys. Right? He will get all of these things as soon as he gets to the bottom of that. Right? Prowess, Dread Gain, Hostile Scheme Resistance. So it's going to be, like, if anybody's going to try to kill this guy, they're going to have a really hard time. Because not only does he have, like, base resistance because of how high his intrigue skill is, he's going to have another +25% on top of that with that attribute, like with that trait. Because there's no way he's not going to get that. He's already at the bottom of the tree. The AI is smart enough to realize, go all the way down to one tree if you're close enough to it. But also, there's this attribute, Max Hostile Schemes +1. He can be killing 2 people at the same time, or plotting. Because usually for every character, besides the people that get this, you're only allowed 1 hostile scheme, which is Fabricate Hook, which is also in this tree, right? So he could be murdering somebody and fabricating a hook on somebody in the murder scheme to force them to help him murder somebody. And he also gets Murder Scheme Power +30%. A job done right. Hostile Scheme Success chance. Like, these 4 lifestyle traits, perks. I think it's lifestyle perks. So strong. Like, if you go into an intrigue character, or you roll a character that's really good at intrigue, and you go into the schemer ability, and then with seducer, and like a little bit through torturer, you're going to be murdering people left, right, and center, and nobody's going to even know that you're the one that's doing it. It is insane. And then also into Skullduggery, Agent Acceptance +10. So Agent Acceptance is, you're trying to murder somebody or you're trying to do something and you want to bring people into your scheme. You just get a flat +10, not percent. You know how it was opinion, right? Where it went from like 100 to a -100 to 100. There's acceptance chances on murder schemes, right? And I'm just going to show you guys real quick like what that looks like. So I'll just set this up because I'm not going to try to murder this guy. I'm just going to do it for the sake of example. So now I just gave myself stress. Because I'm just. So there's like, and that's a whole nother underlying mechanic. Depending on your personality traits, certain decisions will give you stress. And we'll get more into that later. However, let's just look at this. So I've got, dang, a lot of people want to murder this guy. No wonder the success chance was so high. Good lord. I might actually try to keep murdering this guy. Just to try to break up that empire really early. How old is this guy? 29. And it would literally go to a... Yeah, we're going to murder this guy. For the sake of example, and because it would also be a good idea. Now, I can also go into more agents to see if they'll want to be... See, like, this guy will be convinced. I mean, he's already dead, this con guy, in my opinion, so I don't really feel like I need to get anybody else in on here. But if anybody was, let's see, if anybody's close. God, there's so many people that want to kill this guy. Holy crap! This is a good counterexample. This person negative 1,000 chance, like opinion, right? Like there's no way. But see here, if I hook them with the fabricate hook, they'll be more willing to help me murder this guy. And if I had that plus 10 acceptance on the lifestyle learning choice, or the plus 10, just straight up plus 10, right? See, this person can be convinced even if they're minus 33. Now, they're going to take more money to convince than if somebody was, let's see, yeah, minus 24. And it depends on their, like, importance, right? So if I bribe this guy 34, if I try to bribe this woman, it's going to be 15 because if she's lower, she's not landed. You can see in the bottom left of my portrait, there's like, he's landed. He has a dynasty, right? If you look here, he's landed. He has a dynasty. He's more important. Let's see. Yeah, this guy probably, yeah, again, 15. Yeah, he's not landed. Got there. Let's see. Yeah, it's more 56, yeah. Not landed, but higher. I wonder what position of power he's in. Yeah, landed, right? Bribe, 37. Bribe, 56. Landed. Yeah, like that's crazy. Like if I got this guy in on it, he'd be dead. And because it's only 36, I would or 56, excuse me. Where was the other guy? Yeah, 37. So if I got this guy in on it, no way this guy's not dying. Because it's going to go down. Like the time it's going to take for this plan to come to fruition is going to go down by 39%. And it's going to increase in success chance by 25%, which is what you can see in that target right there. 25% success chance increase. I'm already at 80, so, you know, just do the math. 25% of 80, right? It's going to bump it all the way up to 95 is as high as you can go. So it's going to bump it all the way up to 95 if I got this guy in there. And it's going to decrease the time by 39%. Now, intrigue, something it's pretty important in the game. You should get good at it. But, oh, man. And see, this tutorial here, how long have we been doing this? Yeah, like half an hour already. It took me hours to do the tutorial, and I've just summed up like 4 major points for you. Army, intrigue, terrain, realms. Like that's crazy. So much crap. And it is overwhelming. Well, I need to choose my lifestyle choice. So I'm gonna yeah, we're gonna go chivalry. And you see top left there, right? Because of your martial education, you gain 40% more experience in this lifestyle. So depending on like your education as you get brought up as a child, because once you turn, I think it's 12 as a child, you will, yeah, how old is this kid? As he's 17, so he has all of his perks unlocked. Oh, he's got that, nice. Heck yeah. So that'll be good. Be very good, very, very good. Yeah, depending on your lifestyle learning, you will, when you turn 12, get your learning bonus, right? And everybody gets a different one. But if you are educated, which if we go into character screen and I choose wards, right? Depending on who teaches you as your ward, whoever is your guardian as a child, will usually impart their learning lifestyle or their education trait, excuse me, their education trait onto the person that they educated. So if I, as Rurik, were to educate anybody, they would more than likely get my education trait. I've had it not happen sometimes, but it is very rare. Like, especially if you're a level 4 education trait character teaching somebody else as a child, they are very, very, almost certain, very, very likely to get your education trait in some degree. 4 stars is the highest you can get, but they could go to like 1, 2, 3. You know, it depends, right? Now, if I were, yeah, so this person right here, oh no, I think it's 16 actually. Is it 16? Because this person doesn't have their, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 16 if it's because this person's 13. When they're 16, they're technically, quote unquote, an adult, and they can be married, right? Or they are not a child. At 19, I believe people that are betrothed to each other, because you can set up, and back in the olden days, we used to sell off our women to get alliances. uh, so when anybody turns 19, they can officially be married, right? And then they start having kids and yada yada yada. And so you can see here, this physical traits are passed down to your heirs, and that is why this guy, even though he's a bastard, which is denoted by this, he's a legitimized bastard, however, but he is a bastard. So anybody that's fathered or mothered by somebody with a physical trait will more likely than not get that physical trait passed down to them, because as you can see right here, it says at the bottom of that block, this trait is congenital. And if you don't know what congenital means, it means it gets passed down through the generations. So, like I said, and so this guy, Helgi, was obviously taught and raised by Rurik, because he has the same education trait style right here. So, he's going to learn at a 30% rate, whereas I, at a level 4, would be a 40% learning rate increase. So both of these guys are just going to be, we're going to be killing people with both these guys. We're going to be conquering everything. Let me just go back to here and do this real quick. Now, where are you? Boom. Yeah, there you go, Brad. Perfect. Before I forget. But Helgi can also be married off. Now, because it's the beginning of the game, I don't go for alliances. I always will go for... Now, see, there's a whole filter option. You can look for exactly what you want. Now, I want somebody that's... So you can go for child, too. But I don't want somebody that's old, because in this game, and in reality, women can't have children past a certain age. We all know this. It's just not going to happen. Right? If you're a 50-year-old woman, you're not able to have kids. As soon as you go through menopause, it's done. No more eggs. So this game also mirrors real life, which is what I like about it. That's just one example, but there are many, many other examples that I could go into. That's just the most relevant one for what I'm talking about right now. You see, you can filter for alliances, you can filter for no alliance, marriage prestige, gaining by marrying, no gain. So it's just there are so many things. Now you can be incestuous and marry off your children to your children or your cousins or your grandsons. It's crazy. And there is a chance if you're a person that gets married to your sibling, there's a chance you could have inbred children. It's like I said, that's another example. Mirrors real life. But again, I'm gonna go back to this. I want to marry in the early game for inheritable traits, because these traits will get passed down through all of my characters. God, these are some god tier women. I ain't gonna lie. This person, I might choose this person actually, but she's chaste, so probably not. God, another chaste one. Oh, and I should explain that. Chaste, minus 25% fertility. So there's again minus 25% chance that this person will have a child, right? In any scenario. Okay. Now there are other traits you can get, which is barren, which literally I think it's negative 90 something percent chance of having a child, and that's a very rare trait. I haven't seen that passed around a lot, or just seen it a lot in the game. But in the beginning of the game, I really, really care about having somebody who is going to give my heirs and my dynasty a lot of kids. Because again, renown is the most important resource in the game. It gives you dynasty lasting bonuses, right? And those bonuses are crazy good. Also, this person's a genius. I might go with them just because they're a genius. Because if we click on her, look how crazy this is. So on top of any education trait that somebody gets, they will also get plus 30% on top of that to their learning lifestyle. And +5 to every single attribute naturally. This person is god tier if they weren't chased, which sucks because I wish they weren't chased. I would 100% go with them if they weren't chased or chast. Right? And there's different bonuses that we can look at in here. Oh, this is pretty good actually. That one, right? I think this is, yeah, robust. So health boost, this is also very, very good. Especially if you want to go, oh, she's +4 on the martial too. Jesus. I might go with her actually. Because we're going to be killing a lot of people. So attraction opinion also helps with having children, right? Because the more people that are attracted to you, the more people you're going to be having sex with, the more children you're going to have, right? But health, medium boost, health is really important in this game as well. It is your, oh, here, I can explain this actually with this. Boom. Health measures how likely a character is to die by illnesses and old age. So if this person gets sick, they are more likely than not to get better, like, without a doubt. However, you know, somebody with, let's find another person. Ooh. I'm going to come back. Oh, okay, no, this is even better, actually. We're going to probably choose her. Point being, there's a negative one. So here's an upgraded version of that. Amazonian, right? Health, huge boost. So there are 3 tiers within the physical trait realm of, because I think it's Hale, Robust, Amazonian, Quick, Intelligent, Genius, which you can usually see denoted by the candles, right? And this, let me just scroll over this real quick. There's only one level for this, but it's self-explanatory. Fruitful and fertile, right? Gonna have more kids more easily, and she's gonna live longer. So I usually try to go with somebody in the early game who has that trait, just to spam out a ton of kids really quickly, and that's also really good. If you see like double inheritable traits, it's very, very good. Which is why, where is she? We are 110% going to go with this person because she's quick, which is already in my family, right? So it gets reinforced. Now, again, you can bring in new traits. Like this, oh, she's level 4 on that. That's pretty good. This is the physical trait for, I mean, it's self-explanatory. Comely. It's a physical trait. Pleasant to look at. Now, if we were to go to, I saw somebody up here that moves down. Where is it? Oh, wow. There's only comely people in the game right now. Usually you can find somebody that's handsome. But again, okay, here. See, 1 candle, quick, 3 candles, intelligent, and then the genius woman up here with like all the candles. I think it's like 6. Yeah, 5 candles. So it's easy to tell at a glance once you get into the game, like who has what. And so that's the red one, that's stuttering. I know that because I've played the game, right? So if we go in here, stuttering. Diplomacy, opinion of stuttering characters, right? And it's congenital, so it gets passed down. You don't want that. And the same thing with this. This is probably one of the worst ones you can get. Especially if you're trying to go to like a warring route. Right? Any kind of wound would prove fatal to her. We don't want that. It's terrible. It's congenital. Awful. Do not want. One of the worst ones in the game. Now, there is literally things in the game that, like, there is stupid. There is, instead of comely, there is homely, which is donated by a toad. Or designated by a toad, right? Rabbit, fecund. Fecund? I don't know. Has a lot of, fertility. Rabbit. Breeds like a rabbit. Strong, right? Or Amazonian / Herculean, right? Gosh, she's chased too. Why is everybody so prudish in this game? There's another chased person. What the fuck? So weird. And another one. And another one. And another one. Oh, here. Yeah, see, we're not going to marry a child. But this is just a good example. See? Pretty, right? Better attributes. depending on the tier. But we are going to marry our son off to this one. And she's 18 and ready to ride, one might say. Where is she? Oh, she's pretty close too. We're going to need to convert her religion eventually. That's for another time. Yeah, we are going to go with that. Oh, and if you want to go back and pause the video when I was in that screen, there was a green up arrow on the candle because it was going to get reinforced because both of those individuals had that same attribute. So again, if you can, there's 2 decisions or 3 decisions you can make technically, or 4 rather, if you want to just make a god-awful character. You can reinforce bad traits. You can have, no traits getting passed down. You can add in new traits, which would have been any of those comely people or the Amazonian/Herculean people that were in there. Or you can reinforce good traits, right? And you always, if you're not doing it for an alliance, you want to reinforce your good traits on your characters and add in more good traits. Now, there is just a random % chance of bad traits coming into your family or good traits coming into your family. However, and I'm going to say it again, renown is the most important resource in the game, because along this same vein, if we go into our legacy tree, there is literally... turn this on. There is literally a tree that allows you to breed better ancestors, or better children, rather, right? Chance of inheriting good congenital traits, plus 30%. Chance of new good congenital traits, plus 30%. Right? And then we got convergent blood, chance of reinforcing congenital traits, which is what I just did with my son and that woman with the quick. Resilient bloodlines, chance of new bad congenital traits, minus 30%. Chance of inheriting bad congenital traits, minus 30%. So the blood tree, very, very strong. You can literally create super people. It is wild. I've seen a couple of videos. Go to Lionheart X10 and watch some of his CK3 videos. That man is literally practicing eugenics in every single one of his videos. He's literally like, yeah, today we're going to be making super people. Now, his videos are pretty long format, so you can just like skip through most of it and look at some of the people he has. Like, go to like the 10th episode and look at some of the congenital traits that he gives to his characters. It is wild. The man will literally say incest is wincest like 5 times during a video, because he's just like, this tree is so strong because it just like, because this inbred is a trait, right? Like, you just get rid of it. And this is crazy. Select a congenital trait to become more common in the dynasty. So if you really like your people being Herculean, handsome, intelligent, fecund, or there's another one. What is it? So it's strength. It'll literally be denoted by somebody flexing their bicep. So if you like any of those particularly, I would choose genius every single time, just because, holy crap, getting +5 on your starting character every single time, disgusting. Because you're just automatically better than everybody at everything. I'll go with that every time. But usually for the Russians, I go through this, just because like we're gonna be fighting a crap ton, and I usually get the Squire traditions just because that's really strong, plus 10% monthly martial lifestyle experience. Like that's just really good. And the dynasty members, like you can just read it for yourself. Less likely to die or wounded in battle, because we're in the beginning of the game. We're gonna be fighting a lot, especially at this start location. Lots of battle. I actually don't remember what this one does. Yeah, so again, counter system. Very, very good. So I pretty much, again, depending on the people that you start with, you're going to be playing in a certain way that's going to reinforce traits in your dynasty. And this is going to be Marshall, because this guy's God tier Marshall. He's really good. It's just good. He's not God tier. He's just really good. If he was above 30 and he was about to hit 40, like if he was like 38, God tier. God tier Marshall. will never die, especially if he had really high prowess, which he's at 16 right now, which is pretty good. It's not great. Once you get over like 30 in your prowess, you're never losing a battle to anybody. It's if it's like a one-on-one, because you can see here in this trait, right? Prowess +4 reduces the risk of commanding armies. May challenge rivals to single combat, inflicting stress if you win. Right? So there's like certain decisions you can make. If you have rivals, you just challenge them to combat and kill them. And if your rivals die, you lower your stress level. Now, stress in there, you can see, I just pulled this up for you because I was talking about stress. So I got 50 stress right off the bat because I am planning on murdering this guy. Which, you know, I wanted to destabilize this area because this is my biggest challenger in the early game. Nobody can really fuck with me at all except for this guy. Everybody else is too preoccupied or too far away, and you know, Bulgaria and the Byzantine Empire, like they're gonna go at it a bunch. And all of these areas, you know, Italy, Francia, like all that crap, they're gonna be busy with each other. I'm too far away for them to worry about. Literally, it's Khazaria, me, and then Upland and Smallland. Like this is gonna turn, this faction always turns into Sweden. Always. At least in all of my playthroughs. I've done like 1 or 2 on this one. A little bit. Not like super really far into it, but enough to know like how the start goes. Sweden is eventually going to be my biggest rival. And then once I expand south far enough, Khazaria. Because as soon as I take this county, I'm exposing myself to the ocean. And the Swedes will raid the absolute crap out of me. And anybody else. Like, these guys just get absolutely annihilated by the Swedes. Because the Vikings, I mean, they're Vikings, right? They're Vikings. They raid. That's what they do. Haha, I come, I rape and kill your women, and I steal your gold. Like, that's what they do. You can see culture, right? Norse. That is the Viking. However, Rurik, because right now, if you know history and all, and it will tell you this dynasty started from Vikings. Okay? Now, specifically, because of history, I have the ability to make a special decision, which is have the realm embrace local traditions. Now, depending on the territory that you own, depending on your religion, depending on your culture, depending on just your start location in general, there's so many factors that go into it. You can have different decisions pop up in your game. Now, everybody has the go on a pilgrimage decision, call a hunt, and host feast, and search for a physician, invite champion. Like, everything here, everybody has, except for convert to local culture and have the realm embrace local traditions. That's unique to me, and it's very rare for it to pop up in any other playthrough you're going to have. But because of this unique start location, I have this, and character, unique start location and character, I have this decision. Now, this is really important here. Because I have this decision, I get this in limited perk on my existence, right? And you can read that. I'm Scandinavian, so I get this. Gains that for 80 years. That is a long time. It's essentially you are insulating yourself from getting raided by Scandinavian adventurers. Now, if you go on and play as the Scandinavians, you'll understand what Scandinavian adventures is. I'm not going to go too far into it now. But just know that the Scandinavians will fuck you up. In the early game, they are disgustingly powerful. So if you want an easy start location, just go play one of the Scandinavian starts. They fuck people up. They are very strong, and they kill. Like I said, I'm not going to say the word again on YouTube because it's going to just kill the views on it. But they come and do the things to your women that you don't like. But again, we have this as well, which is going to help with protecting us, insulating us. So, we are going to do this right off the bat. because it's going to insulate you from the Scandinavians coming and just wrecking you, right? So we're going to do this. We shall adapt. Now we are Russian. So we can go into here, if you were paying attention at all. Now we are Russian. And we converted faiths. So we were a Satru. Now we're a Slovianskin. Slovianskin? Yeah, Slovianskin. Oh, and these are holy sites. So we start with a holy site, which is awesome. Very good start. So you can see here, we have Novgorod. Stewardship per level of devotion. Now, devotion is the knot up there. That's faith, right? And there's, again, just like the traits, there are levels to these devotions. So you are going to, when your faith has these cities, you are going to get all of these bonuses. Now, because the Asatru religion owns Kiev, we do not get that bonus, but we get all these bonuses, which is awesome. Very, very awesome. We might go into... Oh, that's the ratings. Yeah, okay. Yeah, these two, these three are probably the best. Not having that really hurts, to be honest. But yeah, I think at this point, I am... Yeah, and so there's a little hot tips list. I can declare war on all these people because I'm the tribal government right now. And we can create titles and yada, yada, yada. I'll probably create the Kingdom of Novgorod and end the episode here. Because this is like an hour. But that's the basics for this game. I know it's a bit of a long tutorial, but if there's anything else you would want covered in this game, I'll be more than happy to go in depth on something. And I think in the next episode, we will start the playthrough just after I create the Kingdom of Novgorod. Novgorod. So you can see here, kingdoms, right? This is the Kingdom of Novgorod. I own all this territory. Boom. We can go into duchies. This is Novgorod duchy, right? You already saw this screen. And you zoom in, you see all that. So if we go into a little tip screen, which is R3, Kingdom of Novgorod, we spend 250 and we get all the renown back that we spent embracing local traditions, right? And plus 100 more. But we do lose 250, but we've got a lot of money right now, so it's fine. Boom. Create the Kingdom of Novgorod. So now we are the King of Novgorod, which is donated by the crown on our banner right there. Boom. Ugh. And you can build things in your little areas. And it's, it's very self-explanatory. There's levels, you build what you want. And it's good to go. It's self-explanatory. I don't feel like I need to explain this very much. I feel like I've hit on pretty much everything really well, except for the faith portion of this game. But again, that's pretty self-explanatory too. You look at your beliefs, you open tenets and doctrines, and there's everything to show you. There's sins, virtues, things that you don't like as a religion, things that you do like, crimes, right? Name doctrines, marriage doctrines. It's it's all pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, that's the little tutorial video. I just wanted to make that. I think if anybody is thinking about playing this game, I think it's like $60 on PlayStation 5. I don't know if it's on PS4. I don't know if that game could handle, or that console could handle this game, just because of how much crap goes on simultaneously. I think it might make your PS4 explode. Or take off like a fighter jet. You know what I'm talking about, PlayStation guys. But yeah, there's my little tutorial. We'll start off our little Russian adventure in the next episode. I hope you guys are having a good life, and I hope you're enjoying it.